Welcome trainees to day 6. Today is a flexibility based day for most of us. If you're on the beginners program, today is a pure rest day for you. Now you can go outside, do some walking about and stuff, some active movement, active recovery. The movement's going to be good for your joints and your muscles in general in helping them recover. So definitely worth considering that. But as far as any proper exercises go through Ring Fit, we're not doing any today for you, okay? So my weight loss and muscle trainees, we train flexibility and stability for a few reasons. It gives you better range of motion, which means that exercises are more effective for you. That higher range of motion means that you can activate more muscle fibers, which makes them more efficient over time. And therefore each exercise is going to be better for you and is going to be more effective for your body. So it's definitely important to do flexibility and stability training. Also helps with injury prevention. How did I forget that? Yes, very important. Now, I'm a really big fan of the yoga movements in Ring Fit Adventure. My favorite move in the game is Warrior 2 pose, and I just think it's fantastic. It's a really relaxing move, and I just feel it's very good for me. So my question of the day for you: what is your favorite move in Ring Fit Adventure? Let me know in the comments, and make sure that you get ready, do some dynamic movements, and let's get flexible. Weight loss trainees, we're focusing today on some of the important movements for stability and flexibility, with the crown jewel being the first one. This is tree pose. It's very useful for ankle stability, which helps across a number of things in and out of the game, so make sure at the very least that you're balancing on your foot. If you have to move the ring from the shoulder instead of do a side bend, that's okay, just make sure you're focusing on that single leg stability. Next is ring raise combo. This effectively re-warms the body before Warrior 1 pose. Warrior 1 uses the legs isometrically, really spread your feet to effectively stretch the hip flexors. Hinge pose works by isolating every other part of your body other than the shoulders and is really effective for stretching the hamstrings. Perform the overhead side bend and go close to your range of movement where you can, but don't go over it or lose form with your feet. Repeat Warrior 1 pose and hinge pose before revolved crescent lunge pose. Twist the chest to the side and try to place your elbow on the forward knee. Again, this can be more effective with a deeper lunge. Perform the standing twist and shake everything about before the final move, fan pose. Pay close attention and match what tip's description does and bend from the side. If this isn't possible for your range of motion, try Warrior 2 pose instead. Muscle trainees perform the knee lift to warm up before doing the balancing act with tree pose. The important part here is that single leg balance, so if you have to move the ring from the shoulder, that's totally fine. Hinge pose is next. It has some isolated movement from the shoulder and it stretches the hamstrings and back effectively, which is great for most people as they are over tight. Get into Warrior 1 pose, really focusing on the stretch at the side before standing forward fold. Hold the ring behind you and bend from the hips, similar to how you did from hinge pose. Get into revolved crescent lunge pose, which stretches out the hips. Try to get a good stretch here to push your hip flexors. Warrior 2 pose is next, which I love. Point the side foot out to really accent the hip stretch and concentrate on your breathing here. Repeat Warrior 1 pose and standing forward fold ahead of the final move, fan pose. The movement is based on the side bend, but it's important to get your leg position right. One leg straight with the other bent in. Only go to within your range of motion, as this could injure you if you're too tight. So there we have it, a nice full flexibility session. You're going to be able to reap the benefits in your other exercises if you do your flexibility ones right. So make sure that you focus on these, okay? Now today's Fit Fact is a little bit of an interesting one actually, and it's to do with static stretching. You see, I only ever recommend people stretch for 30 seconds. And there is a particular reason for this. When you do a stretch, you'll feel it go really tight. You've got a range of motion that you can go to, right? And what happens is that you have a little nerve receptor called the Golgi tendon organ. And that tells you, whoa, I've stretched too far. And it essentially stops you from doing it. It stops you from stretching any further in order to prevent injury, okay? Now, what happens is that when you're stretching, for a certain amount of time, so after 15 seconds, the Golgi tendon organ says, hey, we're not actually in danger anymore, and then it relaxes a little bit. And so after 15 seconds, you'll feel that it won't feel as intense, even though your range of movement hasn't changed. So therefore, you can increase that range of movement a little bit more. And when you're doing that, the Golgi tendon organ then goes, okay, cool, we you know, like it's starting to get a little bit more painful here, and it will stop there. Now, it only relaxes the once, but that 15-second of extra stretch helps you lengthen your muscles and therefore get the benefits that I mentioned earlier. So therefore, there's no point in doing any further than 30 seconds because it won't relax any further. You won't get any further benefits from stretching. A lot of research has been done into this, and unless you're in a specific demographic, more than 30 seconds of stretching doesn't really help. So make sure when you do your stretch, 15 seconds, increase the intensity slightly for another 15 seconds, and then you're done. Sounds good? Awesome. So thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you've got any questions, and I hope you enjoyed today. Everyone, we're back tomorrow for full body session. Yes, full body session. It's going to be awesome. Thank you so much to my patrons, including Rain, for the fantastic support through Patreon. If you haven't supported yet, maybe check it out, see what you like. No pressure though. And yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for your time today. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff, and I will see you tomorrow.